You know, just sitting here looking at the box score this afternoon, the scorebook after this ball game's dust has settled, it's very evident right now the two guys that any pitcher facing the Rangers have to be so concerned about, although it's a dangerous lineup from top to bottom, are Michael Young and Mark Teixeira. Between them today, they had 5 of the Rangers' 9 hits. They drove in all their 6 runs. And once again, if a pitcher gets through that part of the order, it's not easy, but it's a whole lot simpler than when you think about those two guys coming up just around the bend. For example, the first inning, Zito gave up an infield hit to Matthews to start the ball game after he was forced out at second. Berry got a 1-2 count against Teixeira, but Teixeira won the battle. Swung on, there it goes, a high drive to left field. It's deep. Jay Payton is watching, and there is number 43 for Mark Teixeira, and a 2-run Texas lead in the first inning. Holy Toledo, this guy is cooking in September.
Boy, and normally, Bill, you negate much of the Texas power by throwing a left-handed pitcher, but the way Teixeira is going right now, I don't think it matters.
Bobby Crosby got the A's offense going in the second inning. Knuckler bounced hard over third. Fair ball down the left field line with a rolling foul ground down into the corner. And Crosby is going to trot into second base with a double to lead off the second inning.
Good sign. The A's need a couple of guys in the middle of the order right now to get hot.
A's had trouble last night getting runners home when they got into scoring position. But with a knuckleballer giving the catcher, Rod Barajas, a lot of problems, a pass ball by Barajas allowed Crosby to reach third with Scott Hatterberg batting. And the veteran Hatterberg then hit a ground ball to a backed-up infield, allowing Crosby to score the run that made it a 2-1 ball game. Zito settled into a nice groove after the Teixeira homer, and in fact, after he had retired Barajas in the 5th inning of the ball game, he had set down 12 out of 14 batters. And in the meantime, the A's had given him another run and evened things up. It started in the 4th inning with Chavez in a leadoff role.
R.A. Dickey spinning those knuckleballs up there, and Chavez rips one to right center up the alley. That's going to go to the wall on a hop. DeRosa plays to Karam. Chavez goes into second with a dive with a 2-base hit. So Xavi rips one off the fence, one hop in right center. The A's need for Chavez to come alive here down the stretch.
Crosby then worked him to third base with a well-executed ground ball to the right side. Chavez stayed at third while Hatterberg drew a base on balls, bringing up Jay Payton.
And Jay Payton on a knuckleball sends a line drive to center, sinking in front of Matthews for a base hit. Chavez scores from third, going to second is Hatterberg. Jay Payton ties the ball game with a solid single to center field for his 63rd RBI. A's 2, Texas 2.
And hitting first pitches proved to be a significant plus for the A's as the game evolved throughout the course of the afternoon. But Zito, after getting that first out in the 5th inning, then suddenly was challenged by a couple of long at-bats that raised his pitch count. In fact, before he got out of the 5th inning, he had thrown 35 pitches in the inning and was up to 92 for the day. It was Mark DeRosa who had a long at-bat before drawing a walk with 1 out. Then Matthews had a double-digit number of pitches at-bat before singling to left field. And with runners at first and second, yes, here he is again, Michael Young, ever lurking to provide problems. Ground ball, base hit through the hole to left. And from second, here comes DeRosa around third, coming to the plate. The Payton throw, not in time. And the Rangers take the lead. Leading hitter in the American League, Michael Young, delivers again his 87th run batted in. And stopping at second is Matthews after DeRosa scores.
He's something, and you know when you got a guy trying to win a batting title, he's going to lock in on every at-bat.
Speaking of locking in, I mentioned the A's hitting some effective first pitch swings. Well, Mark Teixeira is a guy who can do that too. Lined into left center field. That's going to the alley. Here's the runner from second. Matthews around to score. Coming around from first all the way to the plate is Young. He scores, and Teixeira's double drives in 2 more. And the Rangers lead by a score of 5-2 as he jumped on Zito's first pitch. But the A's were still ready to peck away at the offerings of Dickey. Chavez opened the 6th inning with a single, but he was still at first base with 2 out when Jay Payton worked the base on balls, which spelled the end of the day for Dickey with 95 pitches having been thrown. Buck Showalter went to his bullpen for a left-hander, C.J. Wilson. His ERA is over 7, but Buck, like the lefty-lefty matchup against Dan Johnson, entered once again, first pitch swinging. And Johnson hammers it right up the middle, past the pitcher into center, base hit. Chavez coming to the plate. Matthews throw cut off. Chavez scores, and it is 5-3, Texas.
Great move for the A's for Showalter to go to C.J. Wilson because Dan Johnson's a very good fastball hitter, and that's what C.J. Wilson likes to throw. And lefty against lefty doesn't matter if you're going to get a first pitch fastball.
And he jumped on the first pitch and actually drove it right past the legs of Wilson. Well, the A's had gotten back within 2 anyway, but in the 7th inning, once again, the Rangers were looking to try to make trouble, and in this instance, it was Jay Witasic who came into pitch. He walked the first batter he faced, Matthews, who stole second base. Then Michael Young flied out to right, so Witasic got rid of one of the really dangerous people. But with Teixeira up next, he was given the intentional pass, setting up a first and second one-out situation for Hank Blaylock, a left-handed batter, to go against Ricardo Rincon. Blaylock singled off him in last night's matchup between the two. He hit it hard this time, but it went the A's way.
2-1 pitch is on the way, and it's swung on, and a one-hopper at short, taken by Crosby, goes to second for 1, on the bag, and over to first for 2. 6-3 on the double play. A one-hopper dug out of the dirt by Crosby, went to the bag himself, and then fired over to first, and Blaylock is out 6-3 on a well-hit ball, and the A's are out of the top of the 7th inning with the Rangers not scoring. And we go to the bottom of the 7th, Texas 5, Athletics 3.
Showalter stayed with the left-hander Wilson to start the 7th inning. He promptly rewarded his manager by walking Ellis on 4 pitches. Kendall walked, putting runners at first and second. Kotze got to him for a single to left field, and the bases were loaded for Eric Chavez.
Swung on and a 5-ball to left. Play of old Mensch coming on. Tagging at third is Ellis. Mensch in foul territory makes the catch. Ellis tries to score. Here's the throw. It's offline. Ellis scores. The other runners hold, and now it's a 1-run game. 5-4 Texas. Sack fly to left by Chavez, taking Mensch into foul territory. Mensch does not have a good arm.
And then the call went to John Wasden, the former Athletic right-hander, coming out of the bullpen. He pitched a 3-inning save against the A's 13 days ago in Texas, and he got Crosby and Hatterberg on fly balls and kept the Rangers in front to the tune of 5-4. And after Justin Duchesne retired the side quickly, 1-2-3 in the top of the 8th, Wasden was still on the hill in the bottom half of the 8th inning, and maybe that was not a great idea. Jay Payton jumped on the first pitch.
Pitch on the way is ripped down the left field line, base hit, rolling in the corner. Payton turning at first, he'll go to second, and the ball played back by Mensch, and Jay Payton has a stand-up double. Well, the A's have been on the verge of something big this entire ball game, and I think you could say that about the game last night.
Johnson, whose first pitch single had driven in a run in the 6th inning, was looking again on the first pitch.
Here's the pitch to Johnson. Ripped to right. Going back, turning around DeRosa, and that ball is off the wall. Payton is down in third to score. Johnson goes to second with a slide. The throw is too late, and the A's have tied it up. Two pitches into the 8th inning. The A's with back-to-back doubles. And we have a 5-5 ball game.
Wasden, though, retired Swisher on a 3-2 pitch, a called third strike on the outside corner before Ellis stepped in. While Ellis was batting, a pass ball allowed Johnson's pinch runner, Iram Bocachica, to reach third base. And when Ellis got ahead in the count, he was ordered walked intentionally, and so it was going to be Jason Kendall coming up next with only 1 out, and the A's with a chance. And it's time for the Margarita King Call, brought to you by the Margarita King, the world's only gold medal winning margarita in a bottle, now at Safeway. And Kendall also looking to do damage on the first offering.
Pitch to Kendall, ground ball to short to his right. Young can't get it. It's a big hit to left field. Scoring from third is Bocachica. Up to second is Ellis. A ground ball through the left side hole. Young went to his right, couldn't flag it down. Kendall has a hit, and the A's have the lead. Athletics Texas 5.
The third first pitch base hit of the inning. And that was the Margarita King call, brought to you by the Margarita King, the world's only gold medal winning margarita, now in a bottle at Safeway. Just say, King me, baby. Sip responsibly, too. Well, there was more to go. Brian Schaus, left-hander, came in to face Kotsay, who hit him hard but lined out to short. And so the A's were still settling for a one-run lead when Chavez stepped into the batter's box.
And the 2-2 pitch coming by Schaus. And it's a line drive, and it's through Michael Young. It rolls into short left center field for a hit. Scoring is Ellis, up to second is Kendall, and the A's lead by 2 at 7-5. It was a soft line drive. I think it might have been a playable ball. Michael Young went to his left. It's like he mistimed it, and the ball hit off his glove.
It was slightly cued off the end of the bat, and so it didn't have the pace of a normal line drive, and he had trouble gauging it. And as Street came on in the ninth inning with a 2-run lead, he was greeted by Barajas' single to right field, who was replaced then by Esteban Herman, a one-time athletic, as the pinch runner. He took second base on defensive indifference, as De Rosa then flied out in foul ground to Boca Chica in the bullpen in right field. Matthews, after getting ahead in the count, finally flied out to deep right for the second out of the ball game. Now with a 2-run lead, it was Michael Young at the plate as Street tried to close it out. Swing and a drive to right field. Boca Chica coming on. It's a fair ball. It bounces in front of Boca Chica, and coming home is Herman from second base to make it a 7-6 game. And a protecting swing by Michael Young, taking the pitch the other way and dropping a single in front of Boca Chica. And now Mark Teixeira. Get out the worry beads. Here was the big confrontation. Swing and a high fly ball popped up on the infield, right at the edge of the outfield grass. Mark Ellis has it. And the A's have come back to win it. And so Operation Survival, one game in, is a success for the Athletics, who fell 4 behind the Angels last night. And now playing uphill battle all day long, scored 2 in the 8th, and Street gives up 1 in the 9th. But that's enough, because a 3-run 8th inning for a 2-run lead gave him the needed cushion. And as the Athletics post win number 85 of the year, the final score is A's 7 and Texas 6. And we'll find out what winning pitcher Justin Duxer had to think about today's epic here at the Coliseum. You'll talk with Ken right after this.